Hello, my name is Mr. Gonzalez, and I teach English 3 and English 4 here at Valley View High School. And today we're going to be learning some multiple choice strategies that work for the English STAAR 2 exam. Today we're going to cover some reading strategies for the multiple choice questions on the STAAR exam. We're also going to talk about process of elimination and one specific strategy that can work on this exam and really any exam that has multiple choice questions. All right, so we're going to be dealing with the editing section of the English 2 STAAR exam, also known as the reading section. They usually look like this. You guys know what these look like. You have your reading, and then you have the questions that correspond to specific sentences in the reading. Let's talk about some strategies first. How are we going to approach the reading? First, we're going to go to the questions and then scan the sentence numbers. I'll show you what I mean in a moment. Next, we're going to annotate those sentences in the text. After that, we have to read the entire text. For every passage on the English 2 exam, you must read the entire text. Next, while reading, you're going to annotate each mistake that you see. And then, don't forget, pay close attention to the sentences that we looked at from those questions. You'll see what I mean right now. We're going to go through each one of these steps together. So, we're going to look at the questions first. Number 1, go to the questions first and scan the sentence numbers. You'll see that when you scan, we have sentence 2, 5, 8, 18, and 20. I am not reading these questions. I'm just looking at the sentence numbers. And then step number 2, I go back to the text and I annotate those sentences in the text. So I just go straight back to the text and I circle, 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 just so now when I start reading, I know which sentences I need to keep in mind. All right, so now that I've circled all those sentences, I'm going to read the entire text. Step 4, while reading, annotate each mistake that you see. All right, so I'm reading. Oh, in sentence number 2, I noticed that suddenly and being has an adverb right up against a being verb. That doesn't sound right. I keep reading. Oh, I see a comma right here connecting 2 clauses, but I'm not sure that that's right. So I'm going to underline that too. I'm going to keep reading. I'm annotating for mistakes that I see. Ooh, number 8, I see soccer is capitalized. I'm not so sure soccer should be capitalized. I'm going to keep reading. I'm annotating as I go. Next, I see centers. Usually an apostrophe shows that someone owns something, but after I read this sentence, it didn't seem like that was happening. I'm reading. I noticed that they told me to keep sentence 20 in mind, but when I read sentence 20, I don't notice any mistakes. I'm going to keep going. All right, so now that I've read the full text, here are all my annotations. I've annotated 1, 2, 3, 4 mistakes, and these are the sentences I'm going to focus on. Now, the questions. I've just read the whole text, and I've annotated the text. Now, I'm going to take a look at the questions. But first, here's a really important multiple choice strategy, and it's called don't look at the answers. This is a strategy that you can use on any test, math, science, English, history, any test that has multiple choice answers. To do this, after you've read and annotated the text, you should already have a good idea of where the mistakes are. When you get to the questions, number 1, cover up the answers with your hand. Number 2, just read the question by itself. Next, go back to the sentence it asks you about, stop, try to come up with an answer in your head, then You have your answer in your head, and then look at the answer choices to see which one matches. So, to be clear, I read the question, then I cover up the answer choices. I think to myself what the answer is, and then I look at the answer choices to see if any of them match. Let's take a look at how to do this. So, as you can see, I came to question number 10, and I covered the answer choices. Next, I'm going to see what it's asking about. It's asking about sentence number 2, and I know that I already annotated suddenly being. So I know that's probably what the error is going to be. I'm already thinking that. That's my guess. Now I'm going to look at the answer choices. Oh, look at answer choice number 1. That word being is there. And I already marked that that was wrong, so I can go ahead and just circle that. You don't have to waste time looking at those other answer choices. It's highly likely that that's the correct answer. The one that you've thought of in your head, if it's there, that's likely the answer, because the odds are very slim that you would come up with the wrong answer and then it matches. We'll see how this works by looking at more questions. Take a look. Again, same thing. I covered up the answer. It's asking me about sentence 5. I go to sentence 5. I remember here that the comma is separating two independent clauses, but a comma can't do that. A comma can only connect a dependent clause and an independent clause. So let's see if any of the answer choices match that, okay? So I'm going into the answer choices. I'm thinking the answer choice must be a dependent clause and an independent clause connected by a comma. Okay, let's look at the answers. As I'm reading these, I pull gently. That's two independents. Nope. Oh, look at answer B. As I pull gently at its crisp brown shell, comma, the aroma of its gooey sweetness teases my nostrils. Okay, here we have here we have one dependent clause and an independent clause separated by a comma. This is correct. This should have been the error that we noticed while reading. Same thing, number 12, but this one's important, and I want to talk about where the answer choices are here. Take a look. Number 8, we noticed that soccer was capitalized, and it should not be capitalized. That's an easy one. We go to number 12, and I want you to notice something. Soccer is the last answer choice. So picture this. Imagine if we weren't using this strategy. If we weren't using this strategy, I would come to this question and go, F, insert the comma after grass. I go back to the text. All right, where's grass? Where's grass? Okay, it's not that one. G, change reminds to reminding. Does that one work? I'm gonna go back to the reminds, reminding. Okay, I'm gonna try H now. Change playing to play. I'm gonna see if that works. Okay, do you see how much time I'm wasting? If you go back and check every single answer, that's a lot of time that you're wasting. But if you annotated soccer already, then you could just go straight to this question. You can see J, and then you already know. This way, you waste much less time. The same strategy is going to be used with 18. Same thing. I covered the answer, and when I look, centers is there. Centers is answer C, and once again, I don't have to waste any time because I had already guessed this answer before I came to the answer choices. Sentence number 20, this is the last sentence that it asks about, and when we check this, it didn't seem to have any errors. When I read this, I didn't notice anything wrong. I see that make no change is an option, but I'm going to peek just at the other ones just in case. H is out, innocent is spelled wrong. We don't need a comma there, and that's correct. So make no change, J is the correct answer. And just to qualify this last question, my explanation for it, make sure that if you think nothing is wrong in the sentence, At that point, it's a good idea to plug things in. But to begin, we're going to guess the answer, then look at the answer choices. Now, what are the benefits of covering up the answer? If you cover up the answer and you think of your own answer in your head, it's likely that you'll be more confident in your answer because you already chose an answer before you looked at the choices. Also, when you look at the answer choices, you might get distracted by answers that seem right but aren't. With this strategy, that won't happen, hopefully. Next, you'll spend much less time going back and forth. Sometimes there will be answer choices there that are so close to being right, and this strategy will prevent you from going, is it that one? Is it this one? Let me plug this one in. Let me plug that one in. This will save so much time because you will already be thinking of an answer. And last, you'll be so much faster. You can get to your other multiple choice questions. You can get to the writing passages faster. And again, like I said, this is a strategy that you can use on any multiple choice test. I actually first came across this strategy when I was studying for the LSAT in college, and this was a strategy that my LSAT tutor taught me when I was in college. So this is a strategy that can be used at all times in any class. Now, it's your turn. Go back to this post on Google Classroom and open the document titled STAAR Practice Editing Passage. Complete this document using Kami. After you've completed the document, open the other document that's titled Answers, STAAR Practice Editing Practice. The purpose of this exercise is to practice the strategies that we just used. If you don't remember the strategies we used, please rewatch this video and rewind to the part where I list the strategies. Next, check your answers and see how you did. I think it's pretty clear that if you look at the answers first and then you complete the exercise, there really won't be any point. But be honest, watch the video first, take a look at the strategies, and then try on your own. Guys, that's it. Thank you for watching. Hopefully you did, and hopefully this will help you out on your English 2 STAAR exam.